In 2005, President Bush and the Republicans took a firm stand on the people they felt abused bankruptcy laws. Congress passed reform that would force more Chapter 13 bankruptcies by requiring a means test to see if one was eligible for Chapter 7. The law would also allow creditors to appeal lost debts that would not have been allowed under the old Chapter 13 rules. Bush and the Republicans felt that more regulation was needed to protect these companies from the so-called irresponsible people. So, now fast forward to this week. We have irresponsible companies making irresponsible decisions that threaten our economy. And what is the Bush response? Well, if Bush and the Republicans were consistent, they would be pushing for more regulation, just like they did on the individuals, right? Nope. They just hand money over to these companies who are making the bad decisions. George Bush, John McCain, and the Republicans have been yelling and screaming about deregulation as a solution for years. So are we to now believe that leopards change their spots? Or are we to believe that John McCain, who now is all of a sudden discussing deregulation, or regulation I should say, is just changing what he says to the public in order to win the election? I choose the latter. So, while the Republicans push for stricter measures for individuals who declare bankruptcy, they support less strict regulation on companies and are willing to give them our tax dollars. It is sheer hypocrisy. If individuals need stricter regulations to try and keep them from making bad economic decisions and then using bankruptcy as a safety net, then shouldn't companies run by individuals need stricter regulations as well? And I'm not for a second going to say that we should just allow our markets to collapse. However, when government steps in and saves a company, it should not just be with a wheelbarrow filled with cash. Government should take over the payroll and human resources departments of those companies. They should reduce salaries that are excessive. They should cut strings on golden parachutes. They should prosecute those who get millions of dollars from those companies while driving those companies into the dirt. And they should hire new people who will make decisions for their company, both hiring and for other business decisions, chosen by some sort of bipartisan panel that would be able to fix where the company has gone wrong and set it back into the right direction. And if the share of the average taxpayer of these bailouts are going to be about $7,000 per person, as I've seen in several places, then perhaps those companies should help the taxpayers out by eliminating $7,000 worth of debt on those taxpayers, or by giving them the money back. Perhaps not right away, perhaps allow them to, work towards getting back into the black. But that should be where the repayment of the funds goes. Not back to the government so they can spend it on their pet projects, but back to the checking accounts of the men and women who bailed out these companies in the first place. Because that is what really happened. You and me bailed out these companies, and we, not the government, should see a return on our investment.